biggest Bitcoin conference just wrapped up, but guess what? Bitcoin wasn't the star of the show. Stablecoins were. According to CNBC, stablecoins stole the spotlight at Bitcoin 2025, and here's why. Senator J.D. Vance made waves by calling stablecoins a force multiplier for U.S. economic power and backed the Genius Act to regulate them. Meanwhile, the SEC seems to be stepping back from its aggressive stance, opening the door for banks and brokers to dive into the stablecoin market. And Tether's CEO, they're on a mission to serve the half of the world still left behind by traditional banks, claiming stablecoins are the key to making crypto truly global. But let's talk stablecoins because there's a lot of buzz and, let's face it, some fear swirling around them right now. I've covered this topic before, but it's worth diving back in. Some folks think stablecoins undermine the purpose of assets like XRP or XLM, which honestly sounds a bit over the top to me, but we'll get into that in a moment. Here's the deal. Stablecoins are being positioned as a key tool to streamline payment systems while ensuring the US dollar maintains its global dominance for decades. Bo Hines recently pointed out that integrating stablecoins into the US financial system could unleash trillions in global demand for American debt. That's a game changer. But here's the catch. It all hinges on the Genius Act, a Senate bill that would create the first ever regulatory framework for stablecoin issuers. It's a big move and one that could reshape the financial landscape for good. Cynthia Loomis energized the Bitcoin 2025 crowd, announcing that the long-awaited bill would move closer to a vote on Monday after weeks of intense negotiations with Democrats. We think we have a final deal, she said. If it passes, this will mark the first ever digital asset legislation to clear the US Senate, a milestone moment in history. But will it happen next week? Will Monday finally be the green light moment? That's the big question. It's possible, but we'll just have to watch and see how it unfolds. Now, shifting gears, there's a key point about stablecoin issuers. They'll be buying US treasuries at a crucial time, solidifying the dollar's role as the world's reserve currency. Tether, the largest stablecoin issuer globally, was highlighted for its significant role, ranking among the top buyers of US treasuries worldwide. And at its core, all of this reminds us of one thing. Crypto is about empowering individuals and reshaping the financial landscape. He said, let's focus on delivering real value with stablecoins. It's interesting to note that Wall Street heavyweights like JP Morgan, Bank of America, and Citi are also stepping into the stablecoin space. But honestly, do big banks even matter in this game? Most of them rely on closed loop systems, private blockchain networks. Sure, these come with pros and cons. On the downside, they're like walled gardens, limiting access and introducing inefficiencies. But on the upside, they're highly secure and banks love having full control. Still, I believe traditional firms innovating with stablecoins and companies like Ripple are better positioned for success. They're more agile, innovative, and understand the market in ways big banks simply can't. It all boils down to trust. That's the real factor at play here. While some competitors claim Tether serves a niche market of the unbanked, let's be real, half the world's population is far from a niche. Looking ahead, I'm confident we'll see clearer regulations and stronger support for stablecoins. But the real story here is what this means for the US. Stablecoins aren't just about the US dollar, but it's worth noting that 1.1% of the dollar supply is already tokenized as stablecoins. This is just the beginning of a future where all money moves on chain. This is where I believe we'll see trillions of dollars unlocked for these networks. The adoption and growing volume of stablecoins are set to drive explosive growth for many of them. But does this mean stablecoins will replace XRP or other assets, rendering them obsolete? Absolutely not. In fact, stablecoin use cases rely heavily on their underlying networks and gas tokens, like the XRP and XRP, so there's no reason for concern here. On the contrary, I think these networks will thrive, gaining value and scalability as stablecoins become a larger part of the financial ecosystem. Speaking of growth, Ripple has spotlighted RLUSD's critical role in transforming the $31.6 trillion cross-border payments market. With the cross-border space expanding rapidly, Ripple's influence in this booming sector is only getting stronger. Ripple is shaking up the cross-border payments game, as revealed in a recent guide showcasing how its cutting-edge products, XRP and the RLUSD stablecoin, are set to revolutionize the industry. With the cross-border payments market projected to hit a staggering 50 trillion in volume within the next decade, the potential here is massive. Currently valued at 156 trillion, experts predict the market could exceed 250 trillion by 2027. a colossal opportunity for innovation. According to the guide, the payments market is expected to reach an astonishing volume of 31.6 trillion in 2024 alone. And that's just the volume, not the actual value. Stablecoins are already moving hefty sums on-chain, signaling a bright future for blockchain-powered transactions. Ripple is throwing XRP and RLUSD into the mix, aiming to transform global payments. By harnessing the power of blockchain, Ripple is positioning itself as a major player in redefining how value moves across borders. Ripple is revolutionizing payments by cutting out intermediaries and replacing the outdated Nostro-Vostro system with sleek blockchain-powered rails. The result? Faster, more efficient transactions with enormous potential for handling massive volumes and value. Will it transform the system overnight? Probably not, but it's a glimpse into what's possible and what could soon make waves on the XRP Ledger. Meanwhile, Jungle Inc. has highlighted even more exciting news. Trillions could flow to RLUSD in a flash. The White House crypto czar has stated that a stablecoin bill could unlock trillions for the US Treasury. If passed, this could set the stage for a seismic shift in the financial landscape. Trillions of dollars are poised to flow back into crypto. Why? Because this is unlocked capital ready for the White House to access through strategic crypto reserves and other assets. And in my view, XRP will play a major role here. Why? Its connection to RLUSD. And Ripple, a US-based company with strong ties to the current administration, having met with officials multiple times, even before the election. Now let's talk about Cynthia Lummis and her bold move on May 22nd. Her message: stablecoins aren't just the future, they're the present. Digital assets enable seamless payments 365 days a year without the hefty fees. Enter the Genius Act. This legislation is a game changer, leveling the playing field for everyone, from small businesses in Cheyenne to major corporations in New York City.
The Genius Act is a watershed moment in how we approach digital finance, while also preserving the institutions that have served our nation for decades. Digital assets are the future, and it is our responsibility to ensure the United States continues to lead the way. The uncomfortable reality is that our payment system is outdated. Many of our financial rails date back to the 1970s and 80s, before the internet transformed how we live and work. When a small business owner in Cheyenne uses a traditional payment system to send a payment to a supplier overseas, they face up to 10 days and 2 to 5% transaction fees. This isn't just inconvenient, it's a complete disadvantage to American businesses. But digital assets changed all that. Stablecoins can complete these same transactions in seconds at a fraction of the cost, 365 days out of the year.
Let's be real, stablecoins have the power to completely transform traditional payment systems. It's like comparing day to night. Ripple and XRP have been laser focused on this for years, and for good reason. Think about Nostro-Vostro accounts, trillions of dollars just sitting there, trapped, doing nothing but facilitating settlements in the global financial system. It's absurd. Now, here's the wild part. Cross-border payments are still operating like it's the 1906 yes. Slow settlement times, sky-high fees, constant payment failures, and zero transparency. The whole system is outdated and broken. But imagine this, with digital assets and stablecoins, all of it could change overnight. Faster payments, lower costs, more transparency. It's the future and it's just waiting to happen. I truly believe we're on the verge of something big once the Genius Act crosses the finish line. But here's the real question. When will it happen? The timeline isn't crystal clear yet, but all signs point to it happening soon, very soon. Could it happen on Monday? Absolutely. Next week? Definitely possible. The truth is, no one knows the exact moment it'll pass, but the momentum is building. There's growing chatter that stablecoin legislation could land by the end of August or even earlier. And let's be honest, when it does, it's going to be a total game changer. On May 29th, the Genius Act could mark a major turning point for the US dollar, potentially cementing its dominance in the digital economy. By providing much needed clarity on stablecoins, covering their backing, compliance, and overall framework, this legislation lays a strong foundation for the entire digital asset ecosystem. But it doesn't stop there. According to Foresight Ventures, the bill could also secure the US dollar's leadership in the Web3 economy. With the right steps, the US could drive a wave of accelerated stablecoin adoption, propelling the digital economy forward at an unprecedented pace. The Genius Act also has global implications. It could pave the way for establishing unified crypto regulations, inspiring other nations to follow the lead of the world's largest economy. When the US takes decisive action on stablecoin policy, the entire world takes notice. This could be the beginning of a new era for global crypto governance. It's true, we're about to see a major global push for stablecoin legislation, heavily influenced by the steps the US takes. And honestly, this could be a game changer. Once the Genius Act is fully passed, we'll witness major corporations, leading banks, and even the US government diving headfirst into stablecoin initiatives, accelerating innovation like never before. Take RLUSD, for example. It's on the rise. As of the 22nd, RLUSD reserve funds sit at over $323 million, 0 cents. With total circulation hitting around 310 million. And guess what? Those numbers are only going up in the weeks and months ahead. Stablecoins like RLUSD aren't just a trend. They're becoming a foundational part of everything. Soon they'll overshadow the financial landscape as we know it. Stablecoins are more than just a buzzword. They're digital money at its core. This is the beginning of digital finance, the moment fiat currencies take the leap onto the blockchain in a big way, evolving into the financial system of the future. But here's the big question: which stablecoins will lead the pack? Could it be RLUSD? What makes RLUSD stand out? Let's take a look. Over on CNBC, we see that Circle doesn't fully comply. Tether, not even based in the US, it's operating outside and wouldn't comply either. So where does RLUSD fit into all of this? That's exactly what we're about to dive into. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss this.
To create a dollar-backed stablecoin is an important strategic asset.
Trump World Global?
Well, they would have to comply with the new federal law.
Right.
And no one right now complies with the work that we've done in the House or Senate on a stablecoin act. Circle doesn't fully comply. Tether's not even in the United States. It's outside the U.S. It wouldn't comply. So if we have a high standard, the world will come to that high standard for enforcement and for definition. And, you know, if the Trump coin can meet that definition, so be it. There'll be multiple competing stable coins, in my view. You see the headlines today that the large banks are thinking about collectively having a stable coin. It's a new payment rail in Web3 on a blockchain to compete with other payment methodologies. I don't view it as a store of value. I view it as debit cash, credit stablecoin, buy something institutionally or as a consumer.
Do you see it as hopefully disinflationary, meaning that it should take cost out of the system?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Well, blockchain generally, what attracts me to crypto is not crypto, not Bitcoin, but the operating system benefits of blockchain. I think it takes costs out of the system. I think for consumers, it creates accessibility. Look at the Benji, which is Franklin Templeton's money market account that's been tokenized. They can offer that at a higher rate and a lower dollar amount to customers because the cost has been taken out of the system.
So here's the thing. When we talk about stable coins, what really makes one stand out from the crowd? For RLUSD, it's all about compliance and transparency. That's the game changer. And let's not forget Ripple's powerhouse position. This isn't just any player in the space. Ripple holds major licenses, including a big one from the New York Department of Financial Services. That alone puts them in a league above even Circle. But it gets better. Take a look at the advisory board backing RLUSD. It's stacked. You've got the former FDIC chair, the founding chair of the Systemic Risk Council, experts from the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston, and even a former governor of the Reserve Bank of India. This is serious firepower. So when people ask me about Circle, honestly, I'm not worried. I'm not losing sleep over Tether. Ripple is positioning itself to dominate the stablecoin market, and I truly believe RLUSD will eventually surpass USDC in capital backing. It all boils down to one thing: regulatory clarity. Once stablecoin legislation gains traction, it's going to supercharge this market and seamlessly integrate RLUSD into the financial system. This shift won't just boost RLUSD, it's going to elevate XRP and the XRPL to new heights. The sheer volume of transactions, trillions of dollars, moving on-chain will make XRP and its ecosystem incredibly valuable. In my view, we're looking at trillions in value tied to XRP in the long run. And here's the kicker. It all starts with the legislation we're expecting by summer's end. The momentum is building, and we're living through an incredibly exciting chapter of financial innovation. XRP holders, this is something you don't want to miss. Stablecoins are becoming a massive part of the bigger picture, and they're just the start of what's coming. Once stablecoins are fully adopted and take center stage, they pave the way for everything else: tokenization, institutional DeFi, and so much more. It's like unlocking the floodgates of possibility. This is only the beginning, and I couldn't be more excited about what's ahead. This groundbreaking shift is going to make history, and we need to keep our eyes on it. Big things are coming next year, and I can't wait to see how it unfolds. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more free content. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.